Okay, so for our blob brush, we are choosing either a flower or a vehicle for this activity. And the thing that the blob brush is so good at making is organic shapes. Organic lines are squiggly lines. Organic shapes are shapes that are not easily defined. So the blob brush is the best for making organic shapes. And once you find your image, you're going to make a new document. So I'm doing Command N, and you can call it blob practice and your name. And it can be 8.5 by 11. Think about the picture that you chose. Does it make more sense for your picture to be horizontal or vertical? Make your own decision on that. You can always switch it after. I guess I won't use something that's already a painting. I'm going to try to use a photograph. Right. And then you're going to put your picture in there. Pretty. So I actually just downloaded it. You don't necessarily have to, but if I'm on a free stock image site, why not use the real deal? I'm going to put my image in here. Whoa! That is high quality, man. Thing's crazy. I'm going to resize. I'm holding Shift to resize so that it doesn't get all wonky. Short and fat, tall and skinny.
If mine isn't in like the download thing down there, is there another thing it put me in?
Did you press download?
I saved it to download.
It's not in your little download section?
No.
Did you, was it an image, like was it from an image source site?
Yeah.
Like pretty hobbly, so I can't really, I like tweaked my knee really badly.
Is it right here?
So now go to the file, save.
And then I just drag it on, right? Oh wait.
My laptop won't let me open Illustrator because the time is wrong and it says it needs to be like within 24 hours. I can't change the time and it says it's the New York time zone, but it also says it's 11:45 a.m. on the 5th.
So you want to maybe just grab another computer. That might be a good starting point.
There's TV. This is how it's supposed to look, right? You're supposed to make it.
Yep, can you drag your picture in?
Yeah, but can I switch this to like the other way?
Yep, so if you click on the artboard tool, yep, and then just click create.
Okay, thank you. And everything else is right.
Yep.
So I was trying to find, I was trying to get an image site because when I get them off of Google, they look really green.
Shift.
But every time I do it, it says it's in a different format.
Let's see. Open the picture down there.
That's not right.
Okay. Oh, that's why. So open the click on whichever one you want, and then do download free. There you go. Now it's a .jpg. The other one was like a.
Back there. And that one.
Yeah, it should.
Isn't there extra white space?
Yeah, that's fine. We're not really worried about composition right now. We're just worried about we aren't worried. We're just working on using multiple sizes and multiple layers. So, once you get your picture on your artboard, you want to open your layers panel. Layers is going to become very important when you're using this tool. So you're going to open your layers panel and lock just the image. Don't lock the whole layer, open the layer and lock just the image. When you're using the blob brush, it's sort of an adjustment for kids because, and you guys haven't really been doing a ton of outlining, but it's tempting to outline stuff, which isn't the end of the world, but really what you want to do is fill. So I'm going to start with my first layer, and I'm going to cover this whole flower in that first layer. So I'm going to click my blob brush tool. Actually, I'm going to click the eyedropper and suck in like sort of like a middle, suck in sort of like a middle orange. And then I'm going to grab my blob brush tool. And when you're using the blob brush, the open and close brackets are your friends. So open bracket makes your paintbrush smaller, close bracket makes it bigger. So I'm going to make mine super big right now.
So we wanted to lock the layer.
You want to lock the image, not the whole layer. So to do that, you just click on the little arrow next to layer. And so I'm going to start by covering up big areas. So what I'm making right now is a shape, an organic shape. And I'm going to start by covering up as much as I can here without getting too close to the edge because this is too bulky to be at the edge. And then I'm going to make my paintbrush smaller as I get closer to the edge and get more detail. So I might get in closer here. But any place something that you're painting with the blob brush is the same color and it overlaps, it's going to adopt that into the shape that you've already made. So I'm going to get a little closer, and then as I make my brush smaller, I'll get even closer to the edge. And I'm basically just trying to get my whole outline of my flower covered at first. Or your car, whatever. No detail. No detail is important right now. You don't know how to what? So if you click the eyedropper, just click, or the letter I, and then click on where you want to suck the color up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So use the key right next to P.
Yeah, it only makes it bigger.
Oh, you know what? I think you might have made your, go to your artboard for a second. Click your artboard tool. Does it say 8.5 P instead of 8.5 inches? Yeah, see how tiny it is? The width is only 0.15 inches, so we want to change that.
I tried 8.5 or 11.
It doesn't think so. So 11 dot space IN. And now 8.5 space IN. There you go. So now if you zoom out, you'll see. The reason it was, yeah. Because the reason that it wasn't getting any smaller is because it was already only 1 pixel.
Even if the middle of the flower is a different color, we still color it
I would just focus on one flower to start. Or one, or the whole vehicle. So we can start getting really nice, like little organic edges and stuff. But it would be a real pain in the butt to try to do all of this when the paintbrush is small. So that's why I like to start with the big brush and then get tighter and tighter. Aiden, what's happening up there? Bailey, did that work?
Yeah.
Using a different computer? Okay. So I'm getting real dainty as heck over here. Oops. Whoa. And so depending on the fanciness, the edges of your flower, this could take you, like the first step could take you like a really long time. That's totally fine. What we're going to do with our portraits, now I know we're going back a little while to talk about value. Value has two different aspects to it. It's either key, which is how light or dark is your whole image, and contrast. Contrast is what is the differences between dark and light. So using this blob brush, we're not going to get really low. We have to think when we're using the blob brush to recreate something, we're going to be thinking in sort of like high contrast. Like I need the middle tone, which I have right now. I'm going to get a highlight and I'm going to get a low light. That's what I'm sort of trying to work with here. So I'm going to disappear the eye. And if you aren't here yet, that's okay. Just watch for a second what I'm doing, just so that you have seen it happen. So I now have like the general outline of my entire flower. And I'm going to take the eye away. And I'm going to say, okay, now if I want to find like just a dark spot, where might that be? So I'd say the darkest place is like maybe right here. So I'm going to take that. And now I'm going to use my paintbrush to go in where I see the dark areas. So I'd say like, here at the edges and over here, I'm going to go in. And I'm going to do the same thing with the light areas. So I'm just going to choose one color that's the dark and one color that's the light for now. And I'm going to build a high contrast version of this flower. So today, what I want you to work on is getting your whole thing covered and then choosing at least one highlight to put in and one shadow to put in. So you should have 3 different values of your color or of your object for today. If you need help, holler out. We may make it further than that, but I don't want to, I want you to have some time to get it right.